Tony seems to be the official bookkeeper on spring game statistics. So I believe Jack Sawyer racked up a total of 3 sacks. They were pretty violent plays, too. I hope I was glad to see nobody got hurt, but Sawyer with 3 sacks in the game. Zach Harrison, of course. So David Greenshield asking for a prediction between who's going to get more snaps. Zach Harrison, he's already putting Jack Sawyer, and why not? I don't know that he's going to play quite as much as Zach Harrison. That would be my initial thought, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know, but I think it's a matter of as you go through the year, those that are making the plays are going to see the snaps. But Larry Johnson has done a good job of trying to minimize the number that anybody really is out there getting. And we use snap counts with from Professional or Pro Football Focus PFF, and it was there weren't a lot of games where ends were seeing more than 40 snaps in a game. So I think there could be a lot of games where one's getting 35 and one is getting 32 or whatever. I'm not going to allow myself to go too far down the rabbit hole based on what we saw out of the spring game there. When you remember, in a lot of instances, at least in the first half, you're splitting the offensive line. So, it's not like Jack Sawyer is going against Ohio State's first team line, and then you throw into the mix some guys that just didn't see a lot of action or didn't see any action or whatnot. But there's certainly a lot to be excited by Jack. But, I think a lot of Ohio State's success this year is going to be predicated on Zach Harrison having a big year. So, while there's the excitement about true freshman Jack Sawyer coming in, if we want to separate this from being a really good team and being a great team, I think a lot of people better hope that it's Zach Harrison that's getting those snaps as somebody who's been in the program several years, and him being able to step in and be that guy that's the disruptor.
Yeah, I would add that I think it's going to be Zach Harrison who has more snaps. However, you go back to 2017 when Chase Young was a true freshman and was like the fifth or sixth defensive end with Jonathan Cooper. I think after about 4 or 5 games, he was leading them in snaps just because they had so many blowouts. Outside of the Oklahoma game, there was, UNLV and games like that where he got more snaps just because there was no need to put Nick Bosa out there or Sam Hubbard and those guys so that they gave them some rest. So you may see some of that. I still think even Larry Johnson said it this spring that your starters are Tyreek Smith and Zach Harrison, and he called Javonte Jean-Baptiste and Tyler Friday the backups. And I think everybody was impressed by what Jack Sawyer did, but it was against Grant Toutant, and who's a redshirt freshman, and Zen Mahalski, who's a true freshman. I even think maybe there's a walk-on in there. So while he did what you wanted him to do, it's reminiscent of past games by like Solomon Thomas and when 2008 or whatever, when he had 7 or 8 sacks in a spring game or a jersey scrimmage because it's two-hand touch. But at least a couple of those were like legitimate sacks. One, he knocked the ball down. Another one, he just pushed, I think, maybe Enoch Vamahi into the quarterback and got him there. But as I rewatched it on Sunday or Monday, like they could have credited him with 5 or 6 sacks, and they didn't. So there was, maybe that's the Ohio State SID, Sports Information Department, like just slowing things down, like Jim Tressel did in 2002 when Maurice Clarett could have opened the season with 6 touchdowns. But Jim Tressel would pull him out and let Lydell Ross score at, the end of each drive.